Welcome to another episode of Spotlighting Young Talent. And today we have Aditi Sowmyanarayan joining us on the show. Aditi is a proud author of this fantastic book, Small Stories, Big Thoughts, published by Bukosmia. Aditi is a 17-year-old prolific writer on the autism spectrum who uses text to speech to communicate. And the one phrase that defines Aditi is when there is will, there is a way. Let's meet Aditi and know from her about her writing journey. Hi, Aditi. Welcome to the show, and I'm so happy to have you here today. Sure, Aditi. Aditi, I came to know about your work when I first read this beautiful book written by you, Small Stories, Big Thoughts. Congratulations, Aditi, for writing this fantastic book. And at the same time, I came to know about your other work also. I read your blogs, I watch your videos, and I'm impressed with the kind of work you're doing. That's nice. Okay, Aditi, I also saw your videos, I read your blogs, and I'm so impressed with the kind of work you're doing. So, Aditi, I wanted to know from where you get this much energy and enthusiasm to do all the amazing work that you are doing. Definitely, Aditi. And I could see that, when I read your blogs, how beautifully you are weaving stories around your experiences and you are sharing beautiful messages. So that's something really nice. Aditi, what is that one thing about your personality that you admire the most? That's fantastic. Salute to this never say die attitude, Aditi. Aditi, I know you are a prolific writer and you enjoy writing. And I have really good questions to ask you about your writing style and your writing journey. Before that, I would love to know what are the other interests and hobbies do you have? Wow, Aditi, I could see that we both have many similar interests. Even I enjoy watching movies, reading different kind of things, and also enjoy listening to music. So that's nice. Aditi, I would love to know, how did you develop interest in writing? We realize that you enjoy writing. How did you start writing? That's nice. So you always had that ideas, and I think you also have a great observation power. That's true, Aditi. And thanks to this great interest of yours, we are able to read your things, and we are able to see the wonderful work that you are doing. Aditi, I would love to know how the idea of writing small stories, big thoughts came to your mind. That's so nice to know, Aditi. Aditi, when the book launch happened, and this was the first book, I got, and I showed it to my son, who is an 8 year old. He's an 8 year old, and he just saw the book and he found it so fascinating that he finished reading it just in one go. He was sitting on the sofa. He started from the first page and he kept on reading. So yes, definitely, we always receive wonderful feedback about your work, whether it could be your blogs on Bookosmia or this book or whatever thing you do. So this is something. I love that beautiful smile on your face. Okay, Aditi, could you please tell me something about your Sprouts journey? How did you enjoy during the Sprouts program when you were doing it with Bukasmia? Thank you for your kind words, Aditi. And I'm so happy to know that you enjoyed the Bukosmia Sprouts program and you could learn a lot through that. Aditi, if I ask you, what kind of writing tips would you like to give to the other fellow writers, other children who are just like you, who enjoy writing? So, what tips would you like to give them? tips, Aditi. I love them. And Aditi, I have a suggestion for you. You are writing blogs. I feel that you should start writing quotes as well. This could be a wonderful quote by Aditi that says, write because you want to do it, write because you enjoy writing, and write the kind of stories that you would enjoy reading. That's lovely. I'm sure this would provide a lot of motivation to other young writers also, Aditi. Yes, you're so happy. That's so nice to see. Aditi, you always inspire others through your work. You are doing so much great work. So, your family, your parents, they must be feeling proud about your achievements. So, how do they express their pride? How do they tell you that they are feeling so happy about their achievements? Wow, that's so sweet, Aditi. You're blessed to have such a beautiful family, and they are blessed to have a wonderful child like you. Aditi, you also have a younger sister. Tell me something about her. Does she take inspiration from your work? She must be getting those writers' vibes from you, Aditi. And that's so nice to know that, she has a book called published by Kriti Sowmyanarayan and she keeps on writing there. So definitely you are the true inspiration for her as well. And she must be feeling proud that, yes, my sister is famous. Okay, Aditi, we as a child, all the children have aspirations to do something great in life. They want to fulfill their dreams. So, what future aspirations you have for your life? What else do you want to do in your life? Wow, that's so nice to know about your thoughts, Aditi. Wish you all the best for all your future endeavors. I'm sure you'll be the best-selling author one day, and I'll proudly say that I have interviewed this author. Same here, Aditi. Thank you so much. And Aditi, I would like to ask you one last thing. Aditi, there are so many children around us, and we often see that they get disappointed when they cannot achieve something, or when they cannot fulfill their wishes or desireless. What message would you like to give to this such children? That's true. And Aditi, thank you so much for all these great thoughts. And as I mentioned earlier, you should definitely start a blog where you are writing quotes by Aditi, which would motivate which would inspire others. So thank you so much, Aditi, for joining us here on the show today. And I'm eagerly waiting for your next book to come up and would love to read that one as well. It was wonderful talking to you. Wow, it's so nice to know about it. It's in a backdrop of Kashmir. Aditi, I'm eagerly waiting to come up with this book, and that's wonderful. And I love the topic, and I'm sure it is going to be a fantastic book as always.
Sorry, what?
Hi, Shweta. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And I had a wonderful time talking with Aditi, and the way she responded to each and every question was something fantastic.
Thank you. I think she also really enjoyed interacting with you. And our experience with Bukosmia, of course, has been it's been fabulous. It's been very good. So, yeah, I mean, it's a great relationship there. And I'm happy to be here too.
Thank you so much for your kind words. Shweta, actually, I take sessions at NIST, that's National Institute of Skills Training, and
Hmm.
there are sessions on public speaking and communication. And
Hmm.
every time, before I start my session, I always share Aditi on the screen and I talk about her work, how she's fighting with the adversities and how she is flourishing with her knowledge and everything, and she gives a lot of motivation and inspiration to other people as well. So Shweta, I would love to know it from you that as a parent, how do you support her, how you have created this positive and wonderful environment for her?
See, I think, a lot begins with understanding of what autism is, right? Which, for a first time parent like we were when Aditi was born, a young parent, can be a huge journey in itself. Because coming to terms with the fact that your child is different is in itself a process. It takes its time and it happens, right? There's denial, and then there is, slow understanding, and there is acceptance. Plus, when Aditi was diagnosed in late 2007, early 2008, the awareness levels about autism in India was very less compared to now. I mean, now obviously the awareness levels are much more, right? I mean, it was quite a journey for us, first of all, to understand, what is autism, and why is Aditi so different? Somebody who looks so normal on the face of it, small things when she was young, like having a hair, combing her hair and having a nail cut. They have so much of sensory issues. Their senses are far more sensitive than senses of us neurotypicals. So for us, a lot of that was also a bit of a challenge. And once we got around to understanding that, trying and figuring out what kind of an educational program will work for Aditi. See, there is something that that's this whole concept of presuming competence that is there within the community. So as parents and as professionals who work with children who are autistic, see, one of the things that we do is we presume competence. A child may not be able to necessarily respond to us the way a neurotypical child does. So one of the things is to presume competence. But having presumed competence, how do you understand how much is it that your child knows? And where does your child's strengths lie? Where does your child's skill lies, right? Because we are talking about a growth path. We are talking about a career path that is not defined and that is not there, right? It is something very different. We don't know what we are getting into. It's completely off the beaten track. So a lot of it initially involved trial and error until she was introduced to technology, and that for her became her voice. And honestly, after she was introduced to technology, the kind of things that she wrote, I mean, as parents, we always knew, obviously, she knew more than she could express, and that is what her autism is. But just how much more, I think, was something. It was a revelation even for us once she started writing. So obviously, we were also very surprised. we were almost shocked. But having recovered from that shock, we realized that, this is where her interests lie. And, this is what she wants to do with herself. And from there, obviously, it was just trying and figuring out, how to make things work for her. So I think the initial challenge is to try and figure out what kind of a program works for your child, what works for your child. I think once you do that, going forward, because there's really no template based kind of a thing. See, with a neurotypical child, the whole growth trajectory is more or less fairly defined, right? This age, they attain these milestones, and then they go to primary school, middle school, high school. By the time they're in high school, about 90% of them know what they want to do with their lives, and then they go on. It's a very, defined path. Unlike that, for these children, there's nothing that's defined, right? You're starting from ground zero. So a lot of it does initially involve trial and error. But I think, you just have to find the one thing that works. Yeah.
Shweta, I love that powerful statement where you said that, just focus on their strength. Usually what parents do, that they'll focus on the weaknesses. Okay, the child is weak in this, so we need to work on it, rather than we should focus on their strengths. So where, they'll just flourish. So, Shweta, another thing I would love to know from you. See, it might be a difficult task for you also in managing, the way Aditi needs to meet Aditi's requirements and all. What message would you like to give to the other parents who are a parent of a normal child and still they feel that, the child is not able to do something, and more than a child, the parents get disappointed that, oh, this is so easy, why you're not doing it? So how do you keep that calm and composed in your approach? So what message would you like to give to the other parents?
See, I'm also a parent of a 6-year-old neurotypical. And just to give you a little background, I was 26 when Aditi was born. We were young parents. And, to have a child who is so different from the word go, and then you don't know what to do. We put her into mainstream. Mainstream did not work. We put her into a smaller school. And then, she slowly started picking up skills. By the time she reached adolescence, we were like, what next? Obviously, because the college is not a choice for her. At least in our country, we're not prepared for it as yet. So, and then we went to Ishanya, where they, do a lot of technology-based learning, and things started working out for Aditi. Very different, right? And when my younger daughter was born, I was 37. I'd seen, autism up close and personal, just how much it can impact, a child, and how much it can impact the way a child relates to the environment, the way a child is able to relate or not relate to the people around, and things like that, right? So that is when, you start to appreciate the value of small things. Your child meeting her milestones on time. Your child can see, when Aditi was very young, she had a lot of sensory issues. So she has this, nice thick hair. But it would be very difficult for us to comb her hair, because for many of them, they cannot take the sensation of comb on their head, right? And she could not tolerate different textures of clothing. She couldn't tolerate buttons on her clothes. She would only need zips on her clothes. And, doing a nail cut was a challenge because she couldn't take the sensorial. A lot of that came, obviously, there are therapies with which a lot of that comes under control over a point of time. So you start to realize the value of what it means to have a child who meets her milestones on time, for whom it is, it's just so organic, right? You don't have to do anything, by a certain time they are walking, by a certain time they are talking, by a certain time they pick up their skills. And I think as a parent you just become very mature. You realize what is a true red flag. You realize what is the point at which you have to panic. Not panic, at least take a step back and think, is this something to worry about? Is this something for which I have to actively intervene? Is this something I'm going to sit and break my head about? A lot of those definitions start changing when you see a child who's very different. So, as a parent, I think I'm a lot more chilled out with Kriti than probably most parents of, her peers are. Probably because, if she's, let's say she picked up, there was this 2 years of pandemic, and Kriti picked up reading pretty soon, probably genetic, 3 years, 3 months, 3 years, 4 months she could read. But then writing was something she picked up a little late. They started writing late in Montessori, plus there was the pandemic. So, after she went back, by the time she could really write well, she was like 4.5. But I wasn't panicking, I mean, writing, it will come. I understand it will come. Some children pick up at 4, some children pick up at 5, most children pick up somewhere in between. That is not something I'm going to sit and panic about, right? Or the fact that, writing cursive is not exactly her strong point. She wants to write in print, then so be it. Little things, she's come back from school and she's not written her notes completely. I wouldn't panic unless I'm like seeing a huge pattern where I believe that, she needs intervention. So things like that, yes. I think you start to accept your child for what your child is, and not what your perception of what your child should be, right? People always say that, but we tend to look at our children as an extension of ourselves. So not just as an extension of ourselves as parents, but we also, tend to want them to do all the things that we were not able to do, want them to, maybe give them opportunities that we didn't have, but then we want them to be able to do everything that we couldn't do, right? Which is, I think, unfair. But it's a human tendency to do it. But once you've parented a child who's so very different, I think automatically you learn to take a step back, and you will recognize the very vital truth that your child is a human being with his or her, a personality of his or her own. There may be some things you will absolutely love about it. There may be some things you may not like about it, but they are who they are, right? And the worst kind of parenting that you can do is to try and change the kind of people that they are. So yeah, I think it teaches you to be a more chilled out parent, actually.
You have shown a totally different way perspective with the parenting, and it's really needed for parents to accept these days. And I'm sure that viewers who would watch this video, they'll really would feel that okay, some things we need to change if we are on that path. Also, Aditi is really passionate about writing, and she is doing a wonderful job here. So as a parent, how you're supporting her in her writing journey?
See, I think the only thing I did as a parent was speak to Bookosmia to try and see if a book can be published. I share all her writing. That's about what I do, because I think it's an inherent skill that she has, right? And it is a passion, it is something that she's passionate about. So when you are really passionate about something, and you do something, and then, you're praised for what you're being done, and then you want to do it, right? You will do it. I think that's the basic nature of every human being, right? Even an autistic person is no different. So as a parent, I think my role is very minimal. Like I told you, it's just, that in terms of that rest, I think it's who Aditi wants to be, So there's really nothing much that I have to do. There's nothing much that I can do about it also, right? I mean, I can't write half as well as her. So what can I do about it? So, that's who it is, which I think is what it is, right? I mean, as a parent, if your child has figured out what is it that he or she wants to do with her life and is really keen about doing, I think a part of your parenting job is done. So rest, I mean, it's just the, try and figure out, options to publish or, share her work and stuff. That's about what I do. Yeah.
I had a wonderful time conversing with both of you.
Yeah, thank you. We also absolutely enjoyed, and Aditi's enjoyed all her association with Bookosmia, and she looks forward to some more. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shweta.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Yeah. Same to you. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.